dangerous.
Bad feeling about this.
You don't seem to understand something.
The thing that I like most about being a dad is that I see that I'm about to impact the world. What up, people? It's your boy Humble Dad back with another edition of Humble Dad Podcast. It's going to be a great show. Why? Because I said so. And we're going to be talking about kind of taking up what we left off last week about beta males. And, the title says Beta Men Wanted. And so me and my partner was talking. We was talking about how we think that most women want a beta male. They say that they want an alpha male, the things that they describe. But then when it comes down to it and then being in a relationship, it seems they want a beta male. That's the type of talks that we had. But we'll see what we say today. And the question that we're going to start with is, how do you like to start your day? And we're going to start with the one that's going viral currently. Mr. Sahel speaks. What up, Sahel?
Great salutations to the one of the only Humble Dad. Appreciate you letting me on. I'm glad to be here, sir. The question is a good one. How do I like to start my day? I like to start off my day in quiet solace and thankfulness. I prepare my mind for what's to happen in the day. So prayer and meditation in the morning time. That's how I wake up and start my day. Cup of coffee, and then we're ready to roll.
Appreciate you being here as always.
Appreciate it.
Right. And then we're going to have Shorty Doo-Wop come to the stage. She know who she is. Tamia.
Shorty Doo-Wop.
Yep.
Okay.
You're pretty short.
I am. I'm 4'11" and a half.
As I said, just above dwarf status. Go ahead.
How do I start my day? Like Sir Hale, loads of gratitude. I start my day with prayer to make sure that anything that comes up in my head that has nothing to do with abundance is immediately removed, and I feel positive and hopeful about my day. And then on mornings when I am up at the right time, with about 15 to 20 minutes, I also open up my Bible and read my Bible, do some Bible study. So prayer and meditation on the word as well.
That's what's up. And then I hope he has an answer. What's up, Prototype?
What's up, baby?
What is that? What was that?
Man, I don't know. So how do I like to start my day? Some bed calisthenics, some morning cardio, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know if I can say the other word, but you understand what I'm talking about. So
okay. Yeah. Some people call it worship. Some people call it
I know the good Lord in the right place, in the right time, when you got things in order.
That's what's
He
up.
blesses it, you know what I'm saying?
That's what's up. That's what's up. Hey, welcome to the stage, newcomer, Miss Pick Meek.
Hi.
Hi, how's it going?
Awesome.
Good.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, appreciate you for coming. Absolutely.
Okay, how do I start my day?
Yeah.
I'm quite similar to the first two. So I like to begin my day with a good prayer. I like to thank the Lord for waking me up and to make sure I follow him in the direction that I want to lead in to begin my day. And then I follow that up with a 5 a.m. workout. Strength training is my preferred method of working out. And then it's time to get busy for life.
That's what's up. Time to get busy for life. I like that. All right. Then we're going to welcome to the stage, all the way from wherever he came from, Mr. Dwayne Jones.
Yo. Am I mute?
Ooh, look at you, bro.
Is there an echo?
There's no echo, bro.
Well, the devil was working overtime last week. boy. But yeah, y'all took my answers. Yeah. Prototype. Yeah. Ain't nothing like, man. You can say sex on here. Ain't nothing like some good morning sex, boy. To get that, I'll conquer the world. Okay. I'll conquer the world, and then I'll go back to giving some Thanksgiving to the Lord. I appreciate
They
that.
don't understand. You give us some sex in the morning, man. We up and at it, boy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Most productive all day.
Yeah. Yeah. I struggle with compliment sandwiches, except for that one. Wake up thankful, get some morning sex, thankful again. There we go.
That's what's up. Hey, listen, I see where y'all going. Y'all on one tonight. Hey, and we're gonna welcome Miss Ash to the stage. What's going on, Miss Ash? You did a Dwayne.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said I'm trying to be on time. That's all.
No
Hey,
worries.
y'all took my answers. Yeah, I like to get up, give a little thanks, and get on, get to my bus.
That's what, okay. So everybody talking about they praying. Okay, if y'all say well, except Prototype.
No, I said give a little thanks. I didn't say I was doing no hard prayer because by the time my eyes really get open, I need to be to the car by 3:20 and at the gate by 4:07 so I can get to the window. It ain't really no prayer. It's please don't let me get a ticket today.
That sounds like a prayer to me.
Ain't no
For
hard die prayer.
For sure. For me, it's typically reading the Bible for sure. That's how I started. Then prayer. Then it used to be pretty consistent where I would read and pray with my kids. We do a morning Bible study. We got to figure out how I'm gonna do that since school just started and try to get back in the rhythm of things. So that's how I start my morning, and then working out with the wife. So the couples work out. Either way you want to talk about it, we do both. You know what I'm saying? All right. I don't understand why people acting like that. Married people should be having sex. I'm just saying.
Y'all sure should.
That's how it's supposed to be. That's
I
what it
don't
would
understand
be.
what the problem is.
I don't know. It's
Better
crazy.
y'all than us single people.
You know what I'm saying? All right, so here we go. We're gonna start with something like this. What percentage of women want a beta man? And then explain. Give you some think time. What percentage of women do you think want a beta man? Okay. And we'll
7.
start. Huh?
7.
Why you be doing this, Prototype? You act like you don't know the rules. Like I didn't say nothing last week, right? when you start. Okay, so we're gonna start with you, Prototype. You said 7% of women. All right.
Yeah,
Cool.
don't know woman with no beta man for real. Like even there might be a small percentage, like 7%, 7 to 12, who really want to control things, but women really don't want to be in control. They want to relieve all responsibility to some type of masculine man. So in their perfect world.
All right, that's a short answer.
Yeah.
All right,
Let's
who you
go
got?
with Ash.
I say about 15%. I'm gonna move it up because, like I was saying last week, sometimes we say we want that alpha until that alpha start dictating and telling us what to do and telling us we need to know our place. Then we kind of step back and realize, hey, this brother just a little too much for me. So I would think I'm gonna raise it up and say about 15%.
Okay, who you got going next?
Sir Hale.
What's up, Ash? Good to see you. What's up, Dwayne? So it's an interesting question because I think that every woman who doesn't want to develop wants a beta male, and the reason why that's an important thing to say is because I think every woman goes through a place in her life where she has to choose whether she wants to be a quality woman or just a regular woman. And I think a lot of women who don't go through that transition, beta males are really good for controlling women. They're really good. So if a woman is undeveloped, but she wants to have complete control, beta males serve that purpose. I think a lot of women are having children by beta males, right? So I know we would like to think that the number is low, but when I think about the amount of complaints that women have for men, the constant barrage of conversations we have where women are saying, I want a leader, right? They want men to be strong and masculine. I would say whether women want beta or not, women are choosing beta at least 50 to 60% of the time. That's my answer, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay, who you got going next, Sir Hale?
Let's go with Tamia.
Okay, thank you, Sahara. So I was gonna say I agree with you in the nature of a lot of women are picking beta males, and what my point was going to be is I feel like the 7% of women, like at first I was like, that 7% that Prototype mentioned probably like they are intentionally looking for a beta male. Like I don't want no man that's gonna try to control my life, right? That's how they see it if they want a beta male. But essentially, I think a large percentage of women want an alpha male but are not ready for one. So, like Sir Hill was saying, that development aspect, that development point, where what comes with an alpha male is you are not going to remain the same. You're going to have to shift and acclimate to his environment. And a lot of women are not ready for that. So, I would say, while a large percentage of women are naturally, like the 70% are naturally attracting or going toward beta males, I think that only about 7% intentionally want them, in case you're asking. So I think a small percentage are like, yeah, I want that kind of man. But I think a large percentage are going for that kind of man without even really thinking about it. Just naturally, just how they function and haven't developed to be ready for an alpha male.
Interesting take. Who you got going next?
I'd like to hear from Dwayne.
Appreciate that. I think it's interesting. I go with that 50%. I was thinking 30, but I'll go with 50%, especially with this culture. I say because of this culture, it has bred these women desiring to have or want beta males because they don't desire to be told what to do. They might say that, right? Like they want to hear the truth, but then realistically, once the truth is said, they don't like it. But then also then think that there's a lot of beta males out here that are willing to simp for those women, and those women look for it as an opportunity. A lot of these women are looking for a free meal, and those betas are willing to provide it. And then the alphas, they will realize the women that want and need a beta male. So I look at it like that too.
Expound on that real quick. The last thing.
Well, I heard, like be with a woman that loves you, not one that you love, in the sense like that you want to be with. Because once a woman loves you, that's a whole different approach. Like she'll bend over backwards for you, right? Versus the other way, the man is the one who's bending over backwards for her, and that's a beta male. Mm-hmm. So I think most of the women out there want those men that will chase after them, and then they don't want to feel like they even want them, or better yet, need them.
All right, who you got going next?
Brandon, come on with
it. Okay. I would say about 60%, 60 to 70%, I would say want a beta male. I think so. Yeah. And I'm going, but I'm not going off of like what people like. I think somebody has probably already said it. I kind of came in halfway through y'all answering, but what they say and what they are complaining about, which means to me it's what they are receiving is not lining up. So like they say they want a quote unquote alpha male, but they're complaining about men that don't seem like they're alpha. So I'm assuming the men that they're with and the men that they're getting and allowing into their lives are beta men. Yeah.
On you, Pig Meek, what you got? You're on mute.
I didn't even mute on my end. Okay, can you hear me? Sorry, I have a couple points. So I do believe it's a small percentage of women that desire a beta male. I believe I would round it off to about 10%. Because nobody likes a beta male. Nobody likes them. Nobody likes a man that can be pushed all over. I would say that the only reason why women are it seems like we are gravitated towards them. And I can't say we, not me, but I will say we because we, ladies, we gravitate towards them because they really make up the majority of the market. If you ask me, a good majority of beta males come from single moms, and single moms make all the babies. So if they are making 80% of the children, how can we assume that there are going to be more alpha males? So it's just what the market offers us. It offers us beta males because we have all those males that were raised by their mothers that said, hey, you should not have a backbone and allow your woman to walk all over you. So that's just what's left out there for us.
Anybody want to say something to that?
Um, so there's not a lot of beta, so-called beta. Like men don't typically want to be beta males. You know what I'm saying? I think that you might just hit guys in the wrong season. You know, because maybe they might have been a beta, not understanding. So especially the ones from the single parent home, they don't understand what women truly want because they're raised by that woman, and you know you can't really ask a deer how to be hunted. You know what I'm saying? So there's no hunter to ask how do you catch deer. So they're acting like deer, opposed to until they get until they're starving and hungry, and then they turn into hunters. Like, man, I want to eat a deer. I don't want to be friends with the deer. You know what I'm saying? So it might take some time for those single parent mom, you know, home guys to kind of transition into the alpha male. You know what I mean? But it's a process in a lot of different ways. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think y'all have a good gauge on what a beta or alpha male is in my opinion, you know, but I understand how y'all feel about things.
So, hell, you about to say something?
Yes, so single mothers can't create a beta male, like they can't create a man, but they can create son husbands. And son husbands and beta males, they look similar. So the absence of a father is what creates a beta male because he starts to assume that he has to just fit in, and standing out is a threat to people. So single mothers, they don't create men. They can create great human beings, but that whole male, that masculinity, that's either developed because a man was there, or a lot of that is underdeveloped because the man wasn't there. But what you will see is most single mothers, they create sons to fill the role of a husband. And to her, he is not beta. To her, he's awesome because he provides and takes care of her, and whatever she needs, he's there to do. If it comes to protecting his mother, he'll be there. So he's not beta to his mama. It's just that he doesn't know how to assert himself outside of that praise that he gets from his mother. So mothers create son husbands. The absence of fathers is what births beta males.
Okay. Anybody got something to say on that one? That was an interesting discussion. So then let's get to the point. I guess I wanted to ask that question first, but then we're gonna come back to, I like to start with definitions. So, what would you define? Maybe 3 words, or if more, if you can, elaborate on it. How would you describe a beta male, or you can provide a name to attach to a beta male? All right. So we'll start with Pig Meek.
Oh, okay. For me, because I'd be quick to be like beta. That's me for sure.
Well, you
So
see
for
the
me,
caption.
that is me. I'm
Jesse
not even
Lee.
gonna lie.
Yeah.
But the first one I would say passive, a man that has no ability to stand up and speak on what he needs to speak on. That's beta to me. A man who does not have the ability to lead, that's beta to me. Like, and in every capacity, like there are men that will literally tell you what you want to hear, no matter how bad it'll hurt you, just on the strength of not wanting to hurt your feelings. And it's like every woman is not soft in that capacity. Like some of us want actual guidance and correction, and beta men are not capable of giving that. They are going to tell you what you want to hear just to keep you around. And the last word I would use to describe them, I want to say they lack stoicism, but in addition to like they are more soft and docile. Like it's like they expect you to be the one to be in the forefront.
Okay, who you got going next?
Oh, I picked. Geez, I don't know. Humble Dad, do you answer?
I can.
Okay, cool.
So I would say a beta male is a guy that's probably indecisive, and once again doesn't have a plan, doesn't have a vision. He caters oftentimes to anyone else but himself, in the sense of he's looking for everybody else to give him the answer and not necessarily solve the problem himself. So he lacks problem solving skills. So I leave it there because some other people may say something different. Being in education, I see a lot of beta males, but they think that they're alpha males. So, for example, today I'm in the school. So I'm a math instructional coach basically at the school that I'm at, right? And so I'm walking in the hallway and just trying to help them out. And in two different scenarios, guys are following a girl and not getting to class. Like she's leading them, but they think that they're in charge, so to speak. But she's the one that's saying, okay, let's go this way and let's go that way. And so that's an example. Go inside the classroom, right? They're so focused on the girl and trying to impress the girl that they're not even willing to pay attention to what the teacher is saying because they're trying to impress the girl. Like an alpha male, in my estimation, doesn't have to go impress anybody because he is impressive, right? As opposed to a beta male always looking to please and try to figure out what can they do to please this particular woman, right? So that's what I would say a beta male is, and I'll choose the one that I conduct a lot of conversations with about this topic, Dwayne.
Hey, I'm gonna keep it simple. A simp. Okay. That's it in its definition. Always willing to show excessive attention, which women like to be chased, right? But then they that availability, that they need that time too. So that simp is always going to chase and try and satisfy no matter what, even to sparing the feelings whenever truth needs to be told. So yeah, a simp.
All right, who you got next?
Ash, what you got?
Well, I got the same thing you got, simp, but my thing was no backbone. It's like I need you to be able to stand up when it's time to stand up. Like if I'm wrong about something, go ahead, let me know then. Like I've dated someone, and I'll be like, hey, with me driving the bus, I have to keep my weight in check. And sometimes I can get up there with the numbers. I'm like, hey, I need you to point this out to me. Don't be afraid to point out, hey, you gained a little weight, DOT coming up, you got to get this down. Because, some people just go with the flow. No, check me about that. If you like a certain size and I got to be a certain size, hey, keep me on my toes. Keep me in line because, hey, I get slacks. I ain't going to lie. I love the drive-through line just like anybody else. But I just feel like a beta to me, they don't want to push the boundaries. They don't want no pushback when they lady get out of line. Prototype, I'm pretty sure you got something.
Oh man, I don't even know where to start, right? So yeah, of course it's a dude with no backbone, right? But I'm empathetic to men on this topic, only because those men are hopeless. You know what I'm saying? The reason why they're not pushing back, maybe they had a hard time, even attracting a woman in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So they don't want to necessarily mess up, what they may have a chance of getting. I don't know women don't understand dry spells, and what is it? Hey, sir, how what is it? What is called? What are they called? Empaths or something like that? The dudes that can't get incels, right? So like, I don't think women understand the mind of an incel and depression of what could happen to men. So I just understand that point, that they don't necessarily, they're not pushing back on you guys because we're vulnerable to you guys being emotional. Like I have to tell my wife all the time, like, yo, I had to get to a point where I had to say in my head, like, F them tears, and just say, you know what I mean? Because y'all use crying as a tactic, like, you know what I'm saying? And I think men understand other men in that case, to where we understand what we could push on and how to say certain things without necessarily being disrespectful, because there's always like that threat of violence. But with women, it's kind of like, well, we treat y'all like little girls, like, you know what I'm saying? We don't know. Like, I'm sure Humble Dad, he doesn't come at his daughter like, oh, you need to, you know what I'm saying? He probably, comforts her. And that's kind of how we understand how to treat women at first, unless we just don't care about y'all for real. I mean, that's your daughter. So I mean, you're raising her how you raising her. But I was just trying to.
I'm pretty strict, bro. She said I'm strict, but I'm fair, and I come in pretty heavy-handed. Both my daughters.
Don't take what I said just personal. I'm just
just giving you examples.
Most dads treat their daughters on a certain little, pedestal. Like, so we don't necessarily say the harsh things. We'll say the harsh things to our son. You know what I'm saying? But we don't necessarily. We're not built to be harsh with women. You know what I mean? Like. And we don't feel like we should have to check you, because men don't like, unless you're like completely out of line. Like I'm not going to check my homeboy unless he's like, I'm like, bro, you way out of line, but you just gaining a couple pounds or whatever. We can't riff on you like we would a guy. You know what I'm saying? So to classify a guy as a beta guy, you would have to see him around other men. And that's what y'all don't, y'all are just calling dudes beta out of, I don't know, whatever kind of imagination y'all have, but you have to see men work around other men to understand if he's a beta or not. I just don't think y'all have the right definition or the right criteria in your head to really point that guy out. But a beta dude is just somebody's just kind of hopeless. He takes what he can get, and he doesn't necessarily fight for anything particular. But let's go with Brandon.
All right. I would say that a beta male is passive. They are, I would say, nice, very cooperative, mild-mannered. That's a word that came up to me, like very mild-mannered. And when I thought of mild-mannered, I thought about an example, like Humble asked, and I thought about the OG Clark Kent with Christopher Reeve. Christopher Reeve's Clark Kent. And when I think of like a quote-unquote beta male, I think about like his characterization of Clark Kent being just very soft, like he faint when the gunshot go off, like that. He's like not very upfront, is very soft and passive. And I think there's a Tamia. Yes.
So I am also, an empathetic person. So I understand that some beta men are just simply lost and don't have a sense of urgency, like just drive. There's a lack, like there's something missing for some of them. But what I would say a beta male is he likes being comfortable. Like he just likes comfort. He likes what he knows, and what he knows is where he can thrive, and it doesn't push him over the edge. So if it means to avoid conflict, like for example, Prototype said sometimes beta men may come into encounter with a relationship that they've never had. So because of that, they don't want to risk. They don't like risk. Beta men don't like risk. They like what they know they can stay on smooth waters with. And if that means cooperating to the extent of not being a leader with their partner, then that they're okay with that. They settle with that because it means this can stay the way I see it right now. So I don't think they're so ambitious to look forward to how that may play out in, the long run. But I just think beta men are just very comfortable. They're very comfortable. They maybe don't like conflict, and then they don't like to be pushed to the edge. Where alpha men is like, push me until you think you can't push me anymore. So like, try me, like, let's see how far we can get. That's why an alpha male would want a woman that he can also flourish with where we had that conversation. A beta male was like, yo, we're good, we're happy, we're cool, bills are paid, you're not complaining, then everything's fine. And that there's nothing growing from there. There's no like spark. It's just kind of like once we're okay and you know we're okay, you're fine with staying okay because you know that means no chaos. But that doesn't mean no problems. So that's what I think a beta male is.
You about to say something, Prototype?
No, I actually like what she said. You know, like they're very comfortable. They don't necessarily like being pushed. You know, they stay in the comfort zone. You know, they're not necessarily dogs. Not dogs and fellas, y'all know what I'm talking about.
Hunger.
Yeah, like you know what I'm saying? Like, but they're just kind of like, you know, just cool with anything that happens and like want to stay in their little realm. I hate those kind of guys. It irks the hell out of me, but yeah, no, I like how she described them.
So hell, you have something?
Yes. So it is with deep regret that I announce that I've got personal experience with this from 1992 until about 2015. I'm very sorry to announce this. So I've got inside knowledge that I'm going to share with you guys about this. So the first thing is beta males are very passive. And there's a reason for this. Like a lot of people think that men just wake up one day and just decide to be that. It's not a man's nature to be beta. A man has to be cultured to be that way. And I'll tell you how this happens. So imagine a young boy who has a single mother and she tells her kids about how bad their dad was and how bad her dating and marriage experiences have been. All the men have been terrible. They've been trash. They broke her heart. They hurt her. So the son sees his mother in pain and something in him adjusts to prove to himself, to his mother, and to the world that he is not like the bad men his mama talked about. So he spends all of his life trying to be this good boy, this good man to give his mama some hope. Little does he know that mama did not tell him the whole story, number one. And then that too, in being nice, you forego lessons in terms of setting boundaries and having structure and having some non-negotiables because you're so busy walking on eggshells trying to prove that you're not the bad man that your mom experienced. So that passivity is not inherent. That's not part of his DNA. It's part of his culture. And so I think that beta males are cultured to be this way based off of them trying to be the opposite of the kind of man their mom talked about brought her pain. The other part to that is being a people pleaser. So like a lot of boys are taught to make people smile and make them happy. Even if that makes him feel stressed out or less than, he becomes a people pleaser. And what people don't know about people pleasers hate themselves. You know what I mean? Because deep down inside, they know that what they're doing it from a place that's not genuine. They're doing it because to them, that's the only way that they get acceptance or validation. And that moves right into the more ugly part of that, which is beta males are manipulative. So it comes off that they're doing nice and kind things. And this is whether they know this on a conscious level or an unconscious level. But all of their actions is to get a result because they believe that if they do X, they're going to get Y. So it's never from a place of genuineness. And so I think if you really look at what a beta male is, you can see those three characteristics. They are passive, they are people pleaser, and they are manipulative. Like when you scale back their actions and see that what they do is not really genuine. They're doing it in the hopes that they can do enough to get what they want instead of just being forthright about what they want.
Anybody have a perspective that they would like to share?
Yes.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm a single mom. So I tell people all the time being a single mom is like a beta male. I'm not a repellent. It's like they gravitate towards me. So before I started my whole therapy journey and getting into my femininity, it was real wild out here for me. Like men would be like, you remind me of my mother and I want to love you. And it's like, I'm not your mama. I don't want to be your mama and I don't want to be like that. So it's just like beta men will come and find me and be like, I see your strength. I see how you move through the world and I see how you're good at making decisions. And I need a woman like you to lead my life. And it's like, I don't want to do that. I've never woken up on any given day and was like, I want to lead some man. So I agree. Like, those beta men are out there. They see what they have with their mothers, and then they go out there and they try to get it with other women, regardless of the situations. I have a son, so while I'm raising him, I'm telling him, like, I get that you see that I'm a single mom and you would love to have a stepdad, but don't you go out there and do it, because it's a terrible cycle. Stop it. Women should just be making better decisions. So it's on the mothers, the lack of fathers. And then we just keep perpetuating this terrible cycle of men that nobody wants, because that's why our men are more single. If women wanted betas, we have a whole bunch of them to pick from. But we are piling up behind the same type of men, and that's for a very specific reason. Nobody wants them. That's it.
You said nobody wants it.
Nobody wants the
got some weird
betas.
sounds going on. I don't
That's
know.
me, my chair. Nobody wants the betas. Like, nobody likes them. Like, we might deal with them. It's usually when women deal with betas, it's for a using purpose. It's not for somebody that they want to settle down with long term. And even if they do pick the beta, they eventually end up leaving him because he is not the man that they thought they was gonna be. He said this vision. I'm gonna give you this, and then I couldn't give it to you. I don't know. I think betas end up single overall.
They gotta wait their turn. Like, after them women hit the wall or have children, you know what I'm saying? then or they gain too many pounds or something like that. Then it's the beta's turn.
But she's saying that most men out here are betas, so it's not necessarily. So I would say that let's go with that. Most men are betas, right? But beta men are also successful, and they also get to choose certain type of women. I'll give you an example, right? So would you consider Future an alpha male?
No.
Would you consider Dwayne Wade an alpha male? Would you consider Will Smith an alpha male? Okay, so you could say what Prototype say they get a leftover maybe, but I mean, Jada Smith at that time wasn't necessarily considered a leftover necessarily when he got with her at that time. Not at the time. Now, as things began to be revealed about her infatuation with Tupac, then it changed, right? But prior to that, that's not true.
I mean,
then we have Dwayne Wade, right?
Who got a leftover woman?
What's that? What'd you say?
Who got a leftover woman?
Right. He got a leftover.
Gabby, who uterus don't work and waited to the end of her life to snag a man.
But what I was saying is that beta men can still be successful as it relates to finances.
I mean, sure, in a sense, but it's still
in a sense,
money.
Like
in the money, you like we're saying money, but I mean, like, actually being successful all the way around. Like, your woman represents you. So if you have a woman on your page that's a clown, you still not winning to me, money or not.
That's a fair assessment. But what I'm saying, the characteristics that we were talking about describing a beta male, I mean, Dwayne Wade was a leader of his team until LeBron James came, and he was like, well, no, I can't, I got to relinquish that title, so to speak. He also was taking care of his sons.
Okay.
So
I believe there are exceptions to every rule, but I do not think that's the rule. So I think the rule is majority
that most beta males are not married.
I believe most beta males are stuck.
I'm asking this question though. This is the question I'm asking. You think that most married men are alphas?
Do I think most married men are alphas? Oh, I don't know.
I say hell no.
About that.
Let's talk about it.
I've never thought about that.
No. No, it's
Go ahead, okay. Go ahead, Brandon. Wait, Prototype. Go ahead, Brandon. Go ahead and respond to that.
No, I would say that it's definitely not true that most married men are alpha men. No, that's not. No, I would probably positively say, at least these days, most alpha men are probably like single or like not really attached to anything right now. But the reason I say that that's not true, because there is a lot of men in unhappy marriages who will probably die never having said that I am unhappy.
You
I'd
base
rather
that
die
on,
before
you base that on what?
I guess that most of that is just based on like what I see, what I hear, and just like the statistical, like how marriages are just breaking up. The reasons that are the main reasons that are said for divorce. You know, I know that like money is one of the major ones, but it's not like the biggest one. Usually, it's like
It is the biggest one. Finances.
It's not, nah.
Lack of commitment is the number one.
It
Yeah.
depends.
So
Which study are y'all looking at? Because several that I looked, at least 3 or 4 that I looked at, finances was number 1, and number 2 was infidelity.
And those two have been for like the last 20 years, but as of lately, is lack of commitment, infidelity, and then something about unhappiness, and so finances is about 3 or 4 typically.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say it's like 2, but I'm just saying like it's not the top spot anymore across the board. There's probably several places where it is, but I would say that there are a lot of guys that just like are unhappy or just afraid to rock the boat, in a sense of like, if I bring something up, it's going to be an argument. It's going to get blown up into something that I'm just mad that you snoring at night. I'm not trying to talk about whatever the hell this is going to bring up down the line. So I'd rather just not say nothing, but that adds up, and then people's like, you know what, it's too late now. I'm just gonna go cheat. I'm just gonna not address the problem head on. I'm gonna try to go around it or just get along, get along until I die.
Okay.
Or she leaves me.
I got you. Tamia, what was you about? You gonna say something? I see you shaking your head.
No, I'm good right now.
Okay.
I just agree.
So you agree that most men are beta males?
I mean,
married men. You believe that? Most, what percentage would you give?
I do believe that most men that are married are beta males. I feel like a lot of men, it's kind of like what I was saying with like the women, that whole having access to marriage kind of thing. Like I think that women are having a lot of say in their marriages these days in a different type of way. So not that alpha husbands don't want to hear their wives, but it's different now. Like there's a lot of conversation that's not in the light of a woman literally sitting there as though like this man is above me and he's my leader, but more so like we're eye to eye and we're just at the same span and we're a team and we're going to do this together and figure out this together. And my percentage that I'm putting in is equated to the same level that you are. So that's what then makes a man considered beta, because you're not calling the shots. And it's not just a matter of like what Prototype was saying that first week, where it was like, hey, yeah, my wife can definitely say, hey, I know you're considering this, but what do you think about this? And I can definitely listen to it. But at the end of the day, it's your husband's choice whether he's going to go with it or not. And a lot of marriages are not functioning like that. A lot of men are pleasing their wives right now, or pleasing women to then get married. And then they get stuck in that situation where this lady now feels as though like, no, you gave me a voice before we got married. I need my voice now even more because we're married now. So you end up in that beta marriage.
beta marriage. I got it. So
Yeah.
the title sticks then. Beta men are wanted. Did y'all know that there are more than just alpha and beta characteristics?
Sigma. I was going to bring it up. Yep.
Go ahead. You want me to expound, or you want to go?
Yeah. Well, so I want to answer your question because it's a provocative question. I do believe that a lot of men. So the majority of married men are not alphas, but here's why. It's an ugly reason, but it's a true reason. Most men start to live for their wife and kids. It sounds romantic and it sounds wonderful that a man would I just want to work and provide for my wife and kids. That's how men get fat, out of shape, don't take care of themselves. They lose their social skills. All they want is a beer and some corn nuts and sit there and scratch the balls watching the football game. It's because they make their woman and their kids the object of their existence. And what attracted that woman to him was, now that he was doing that first, is that he was striving to reach something. So most men are not alphas in marriage because we're cultured to get comfortable and to stop attacking life, particularly before we hit 50. Like, a lot of guys then checked out and they got comfortable before they even got enough money to retire on. With that being said, a lot of men become sigmas in their marriage. They become really independent. They don't really want a lot of help from their wife. They want to do stuff on their own while still sustaining their responsibilities. So while not beta, while not alpha, I think that there are a lot of sigma males in marriage as well.
I mean, that sigma thing to me is still beta for me. Any man that's not a dog trying to go, better himself and get more or whatever, not more per se, but just better himself as a man, to feed the community and
that's
have that responsibility.
That's my definition now. That's not what a sigma male is. Like, it's essentially like, alphas run in packs. Sigmas are the same thing, but they do it alone. Like, that's the fundamental difference.
I'll read a definition for you for sigma, because shout out to my wife Kendra. She was the one that was like, "Hey, it's more than two, right?" Okay, and so she sent me the link. Is that me being a beta? Because I leaned on my
no sparkles.
I couldn't leave it. I couldn't leave it there. I just shout out to Prototype. All right, sigma males are confident mentors who play by their own rules. They have all the confidence of alphas, but aren't interested in power or being at the top of social hierarchy. They have enough life experience to follow their own moral compass and spend their time helping misguided men discover their inner power. Okay. When some sigma men's natural wit, intuition, and sense of persuasion earn them the respect of their peers. Then you have omega males. Omega males are intelligent introverts who don't need external validation. Pop culture portrays them as the shyer, more reserved yin to the zeta males yang. They're independent and very comfortable in their own company. Then you had, Then there is, Then there is zeta males are one of a kind progressives. There's a reason the zeta male is the least talked about personality type in pop culture. They're rare nonconformists who don't care what other people think. They know themselves and refuse to change to fit into the rigid social standards of society. Zeta males are fierce, creative, who blaze new paths for themselves and others. Then you have the delta males. I never even heard that one. Delta males are very responsible and keep the world moving. Highly adaptable, deltas are known for their competence and work ethic rather than their leadership and ambition. Then you have gamma males, or the life of the party. I'll leave it there. And then you have the beta and then the alpha male. So in this particular link, it gives 7. Right.
Can I say something about the sigma males?
Yeah, if you must.
Not must. That's why I asked. But sigma males just remind me of individuals that I believe in. Somebody can let me know or find it, and I'm not going to quote it because I don't remember the scripture. But essentially, God just speaks a lot of times of like, you can have gifts, but if you cannot go out and expand and share those gifts or whatever you've succeeded in, then you're basically nothing at all. I actually read it today in the book, like A Praying Wife, like Becoming a Praying Wife. I'm reading that book, and it spoke just about like reputation. And as speaking about reputation, there were some scriptures in regard to like individuals that don't share it's just like he works for himself, like he works for himself even in regards to his family, and that essentially is not success. Like, once you're just sitting there, you're doing something for yourself, you've made no impact, so essentially you're not successful, even when it comes to being a man of God. Like, if you're not going to spread it, you're not going to service, you're not going to share it, or do it with a bigger purpose or reason, but beyond yourself, and just focus on you and isolate yourself, then essentially you have not achieved anything at all. So that's what sigma males are ringing to me. And it's unfortunate because they probably see it. A sigma male would not see it that way. He would probably see it as, he's thriving. I work best this way, by myself, focusing and figuring out things alone. So I would be interested to like figure out how that works. If there was wish there was a Sigma male here. But that would be interesting to hear from for a psychological perspective on where that may have stemmed from, as to how that's beneficial.
Well, I think it's hard to. I think the thing about it, like what Prototype kind of alluded to, it's hard to categorize yourself sometimes because you know you don't necessarily see yourself and how you should be seen, so to speak. So, for example, I think that most guys think that they're alpha men. That's what I think. But however, they don't necessarily they don't even know that the other ones are out there, right? So my wife says that she thinks that I would be considered a Sigma, right? That's what she would categorize me as, and I say okay. So if that's because I don't really care about what nobody thinks, right? And what Sir Hale was saying is similar to an alpha. Like I don't really run in a pack, you know. I have 3 friends, really. One is Dwayne, another homie Chris, and then another one, my homie Dez in Atlanta, you know. And those are the only people I run with, right? And so, where did I get it from? If that's the kind of question that you're asking, right? I was raised by a single mother who taught me the skill set of being analytical. So she always taught me that I needed to ask why when I didn't understand. And that drove people crazy, and it still does today. Tamil seen me operating.
You ask why for everything.
Exactly.
Everything.
Right. I do, because I'm trying to figure out why you think like that. Okay. And so when I have my questions, I'm like, okay, what would get them to think about what it is that they're thinking about? So that's what my mom did. Then I get to college and I'm around dudes that operate around women all the time, in my fraternity brothers. And they move totally different than I've seen any guy move. Right. So here you have the guy that's going to ask a lot of questions. And if I'm in a relationship, you're going to get a lot of questions. Right. And that gets annoying to most women. So it takes a particular type of woman to be able to deal with a dude that's going to challenge you. That's why I come to the question about, do women really want really want an alpha type guy? And I think who said that Brandon. Think about Brandon. If can you get that link in the that when you went viral? Because I don't know if everybody saw it on the panel, but he described it very perfectly of what most men do. Have you seen it, Sir Hale? Okay, if you put it in the back chat. So he's explaining to the people about how and I'm gonna come down because I've been talking for a while, but how men have to try to figure out when and how to communicate with a woman. Can't be hot. She can't be at the top of the. She can't be. It can't be something great has happened. You can't tell her that you got issues. Then it can't be a low day. You know what I'm saying? Because then why are we talking about it? It can't be when she on her phone, right? It can't be when. And I said, listen, this is what it looked like. It looks like if you're a hooper, they want you to hit all net, no net, right? And the wind is blowing. That's how I got to be for a guy to actually have a conversation with a woman. Go ahead, Sir Hill.
I don't even have any comment. That is a fantastic description. That is perfect.
So think, and even that's even with an alpha male he's blunt, right? But depending on who he's talking to, he got to calculate at times how can he communicate with this woman, because most women, and we're going to transition to this, most women do not like to be critiqued. Let's talk about it. Why is that? We're going to start with Ash.
I would say most women don't like being critiqued because most of the time we ain't been told that we're wrong. Like, depending on your upbringing, your mama, daddy, grandpa, or something always probably saved you from a whooping, because I was a spoiled grandchild. Everybody say I'm the favorite. So I really didn't get no whoopings. I was the one going to get the switch. So with me growing up, discipline really not my thing. But to my other cousins, discipline may be their thing. They may be more structured than I am. And that just goes to show the upbringing. But women are not used to hearing that they're wrong at all, because we're used to getting our way, or we put the sad face on or throw the tears out there. And I seen it done multiple times. I'm like, why do you do that? Why don't you just fix the situation? Why are you crying when it's something that could be fixed? But you want your man to respond, I guess, in that way to take over and fix it. I don't agree with that at all. But I just feel like if a woman can fix it, go ahead and fix it. But to me, I just feel like women do use their inner perks to get their way. Humble Dad, if you're speaking, I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
I apologize. No, you're good. That's
Pick me. You got Nick.
Oh, okay. Hey, okay. I didn't get whoopings either. I was a tattletale. My parents would say, if you tell on everybody before, you wouldn't get in trouble. So I would tell. But why women don't like criticism. I had a dad for a long time, and for whatever reason, criticism always felt like he was hurting my feelings. And it didn't matter what he said, how he said it, how he wrapped it up. It was daddy being mean, and I don't know what I did for him to be mean, and I don't ever want him to be mean to me again. And for whatever reason, we still just take that with us. With maturing and growing up, I understand more that usually the criticism is to get me on a better path, but that usually takes more maturity. And because our women are suffering from arrested development, we still just a bunch of princesses that's aging.
Hey, we in conversational mode, so it's no calling on anybody. It's the person that wants to talk on the subject matter. So you go when you're ready.
I mean, I definitely agree that women stay like in a teenage mindset for a long time. I agree with Pick Me's last statement for sure.
Yeah. Well, I agree that while this is true, I think a lot of it is because that's kind of like we allow it to happen. You know what I'm saying? We coddle
Who's the
our
we?
girls.
Who is the we?
I would. Yeah, I would say.
Are you saying men and women or particular?
I would just say society, and
Okay.
also like I know you, Humble. You said like you're pretty strict on your girls, stuff like that. But that's not. They may not necessarily be the case across the board. I think it's there's a lot of coddling involved in the sense of just like this is my little princess, and I'm gonna raise her as such until the point where she bump her head against in such a way that I can't help her with, and then that's when she realizes that that the world is ain't sweet like that for you. So I'm not going to say this is all. I can't say that it's all women's fault in a sense, because like we as men in the past have kind of allowed it through the coddling, but in addition to that, I would say that women find it difficult to accept criticism and such, because that's what's been modeled for them. And I would say in Black culture is very matriarchal, and you couldn't tell grandmama nothing. You couldn't tell your mama nothing. Like as a kid, you had to be fully grown to really have an opinion on something, and even then, you had to dress it up, and it had to come off as a compliment the whole time. Even if you're talking to them and saying that, even if you're saying something you don't like about what they did, it has to sound like something sweet. So I think little girls see that, they grow up, and that's their expectation. And then when you challenge that, it's like you're challenging them, and you're challenging like who they are as a person. So I don't think they don't because they don't receive criticism often, they haven't learned to separate the criticism from who they are as a person. So like boys get told from early on what their mistakes are, and I believe we've learned to kind of separate. Like if you have a critique against me, you're not saying I ain't shit. You're saying the thing I did wasn't correct, or something along those lines. But for women, I think those two things are still very much intertwined when it comes to receiving criticism. It's like you're calling their personhood into question. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Dwayne, come on, bro.
No, I just think like the pretty factor, right? Like the you cute, you pretty. I don't think what age does that stop for boys? Like they might say, you handsome, but I think after a while that stops, right? For women, okay, we'll go. All right, cool. Okay, 10. All right on. When does it stop for girls?
Never.
It don't.
Okay.
And women lie to each other, so it's gonna always. I mean, there could be a big girl in a horrible looking dress, and they will say, "Oh, girl, you."
We talked about this in the hallway, Dr. Lang. We talked about this, that how women lie to each other.
Speaking of, there's a video about that.
Dwayne, I ain't want to take your shine. Go ahead and finish your thought, bro.
No, that's along the line. So it's groomed for that. So for the first person to say, "Hey, your shit stink," what? What? Yeah, get out of here now. Come on now, get out of here with that. So it's like, hey, shoot straight, like what you were saying earlier, Dad. Like, I shoot straight to my daughter, right? Because guess what? I don't want to be the one lying to her, right? Society gonna do a lot of it. I don't want to be the one lying to her. I want to let her know the good, the bad, and the ugly about herself, right? Because I don't want her to be blindsided by something because she thought she was perfect. And I think it's crazy in this world. Like a lot of people think that they got it all together, right? And the moment somebody say you don't, like that level of inadequacy that they may feel, oh boy. So I just see that like people think they're perfect, right? And that they're groomed to that. Men are different. So we handle that piece differently, but from a young age, girls are groomed. Oh, you cute, you pretty, you can't do nothing wrong. And it's like, no. Your attitude staying, the way you walk is all of that, right? So, hey, got to keep it real.
I think it's interesting. Let me see if I could put it like this. I think that most women don't want to hear a critique from a man that's courting them or in a relationship with them, because I would argue that they're comfortable in hearing the critique if they're at work, because they want to get to y'all saying no.
Nowhere.
Y'all saying no. But what you're saying no, but the way that y'all move says yes, because you all aspire to be in a top-notch position. The culture says you need to go for executive positions, right? And so what you all will do is that you will use whatever tactics that you need, even if they're legit, to get to the top. And so if the manager is telling you, listen, this right here, how you did this is not okay, that you'll accept that. However, if your man says, listen, I'm not accepting this, you will say no. The reason why, it goes back to what Tamia says. Women don't necessarily see themselves as that the man is the actual boss in the relationship, right? Most women are seeing the man as their equal. Now, you're equal in the eyes of God, but the position is not equal, right? And so if we could get, I guess, women, mothers, and men to continue to explain the roles of men and women, things will be different. That's my estimation, right? But if you're coming from a gospel perspective, then I would say there needs to be a heart change, right? Like the heart has to change in order for people to realize, okay, what I'm doing right here is not going to be effective, right? And I'm gonna explain like this. Because I think that women don't understand that they actually are creating the situation that they don't like. When you say, well, there's not a lot of men out here for me to choose from, well, you created the dating pool because you only date a particular guy. And so the other guy doesn't even get an opportunity. I was on a podcast, Purple Pill podcast on Saturday, and I'm talking to this guy named Nuclear something. When he was younger, he didn't get any play. Okay. Every now and then, maybe. But now he's reached the level of about 34, 35. His finances have risen. He's also built himself where he plays the piano. He speaks another language. So he's able to wine and dine, so to speak, and able to speak to these women in a particular way. And so now he's at the level where he gets to choose women. Okay. And what is he going to do now? He's going to use them. Like when I explained to him that, bro, you're creating the cycle that you say that you hate. Well, he says, it doesn't matter to me. I don't care about what that is. So he's not going to change because the women have allowed it. Right. So that is what needs to be taking place. So what do y'all think? Go ahead.
I'd like to address the question. In the beginning, God created man. He put him in the garden. He gave him a job, and then he gave him a woman. And it's beautiful. Everything was working pretty well. And God gives this man the straight directions on what to do and what not to do. Old woman, come on, she fine, she looking good and everything. He calls a woman, and what happens? The woman has a conversation, and the serpent takes the scripture and completely messes up what God says she gets lied to. It's interesting. She had the word in terms of what to do, and all it took was a little conversation for her to do what was in her. And the reason why is because since the beginning, women love to be lied to. We could philosophize, we could talk about culture, but men lust, women lie. Women like to be lied to. I'll say this: there are women who cheat with men, and it's this is why you hear so many women talk about. He said all the right things, because women like to be lied to. You have never heard a man say, "I got with the wrong woman because she said all the right things." It's because she did all the right things. Because men look at behaviors, women listen to words. And if it's something she wants to believe, she is okay with submitting to a lie. So that's what we see in this case. Women like to be lied to.
You're gonna run that clip. She's okay to be lied. Say that last part. She will submit to a lie. Is that
Yeah.
what
If it's something she wants to believe, she will submit to a lie.
Women, what say you?
I say he ain't lying.
I would have to agree.
I mean, what's the lie? Because if a dude come to you, what we said a couple podcasts ago, selling the dream, right? If he ain't got no play, he coming with this dream. He telling you, oh, hey, it's gonna be some mystical creatures and unicorns and bows in here. You're gonna put the bows in your hair, and we're gonna ride off with the horse and carriage. That he's not lying. I mean, let's be grown for a minute. We all probably done talked to somebody we had no business. I'm for one. And it was like, oh, what did he say? It was all a dream. Yeah, it was all a dream until that nightmare appeared. Okay. But the truth be told, that's what women do. We don't go by what the man is actually doing until we get mad when the words don't start actually meeting up with the actions that he's doing. When we start kind of wiping the blindness out of our eyes, then we can see what's going on. But it's already too late. You already invested. You 10, 5, 6 years down the line, and here it is. Oh, he tricked me. No, baby, you tricked yourself because you fell for his words and not listen to his action, not watch his action. He was doing exactly what he was going to do. You just was listening to him play that little violin, and you fell in love with the music instead of seeing what he was actually
Is
doing.
that what you're gonna call it? You're gonna call it music?
Well, I'm gonna say it was the music or a good old rap. A good
I
rap.
wouldn't
How about
necessarily
that?
say it was music. I would say what Prototype like to wake up, how to start his morning.
Okay, well then we can go ahead. It was a good knocking. If you want to go there. A good beating that took effect, that shaped our image. However you want to put it. But this is how I feel. Hey, we do listen to them lies, because them lies be when you not at your best or when you feeling low. Them lies sometimes can get you out that place. So it's like, okay, I got this hope waiting for me at home because he's supposed to be doing this, but actuality he's just sitting there playing on a video game on the Wi-Fi, doing all these little stunts on Madden or whatever, when he could be getting paid for that, but he don't want to do that. He just want to play with his boys. You get what I'm saying? So, I mean, to me, yeah, we fall for the lies. I ain't gonna lie and say I wasn't a victim. Yeah, I wasn't a victim. Really can't even say I was a victim because I played a part in it. Had I been actually looking at the situation, it wouldn't have went that far. But being that I was mesmerized and going with the dream, here we are. You
I
got to be
appreciate the
grown to admit that stuff.
accountability right there.
Hey, you gotta be grown to admit
Prototype,
this
you don't
stuff.
give a shout out for the
I'm sitting here and I'm like, maybe it's because I be saying you can't hold them accountable, that they're just going to do the opposite of what men say. So if we say they can't be accountable, they might be more accountable in that sense.
No, baby, I take accountability because guess what? My accountability is on the side of that wall over there. And the way Humble Dad say he give it straight to his kids, that's the way I give it to him. I don't give him like all the negative about a man. No, I tell him all the time, it was my choices that led me to where I am today. Don't ever discount love because of what I'm doing. This is what's best for me. However, there may be somebody out there that may paint a picture, and that dream may actually be that dream for that vision at that time. I don't let my bad experience spill over to nothing else, because when you do that, like Picnic said, you got to break this cycle. We got to, as parents, we got to break this cycle of saying, oh, it's the man's fault. It was him. No, baby. If you laid there with him and you were listening to the dream, baby, that was your snake. That was your serpent right there. You have to go ahead and learn how to cut it. At the end of the day, women, we do need to take accountability, but some of us is not going to do that because it's like, well, I got to say I'm wrong. He was wrong for talking to me. No, you're wrong for reciprocating. You let it go on. If you got to remove yourself, I don't care what the business is. You got to understand that business is not for you. Everybody ain't meant for you. This is pure point blank. But anyway, somebody else can go.
No, that was good. I mean, that was good.
Refreshing.
Go ahead,
Refreshing.
Brandon. Go ahead, Brandon.
I was just saying that was a refreshing take I just heard. I was
Why?
shout
Why
out to
was that
that.
refreshing to you, Brandon? Why?
Just hearing a woman try to be accountable, you know, to acknowledge the part that she played in whatever circumstance that she's in, instead of just trying to blame everybody around her.
The thing about that though, it takes them too long to even get to that point for the most part. Like
it does. That's why I say you got to get out the bed.
it takes too long for women to get to a point of accountability.
Baby
It's like
steps,
like something hit y'all in the head. It takes for y'all to have a couple kids, gain some pounds. Like it takes a serious smash into the wall for y'all to start being accountable. Like, oh, maybe it's me. But I mean, by that point, it's too late. Of course, you're going to see it then.
No, but I think that's human nature, though. Like the pain, like we go through pain.
It's always the pain. It's like I said, it's that mad day. For me, it's always a buildup because, like I said, I got to be responsible for the mother too outside this door. So it's like, okay, this can't go on too much longer, dude. You got to move around. I got these girls. You know what? Let me just focus on these kids and let you go on do what you got to do. But all of us ain't there. That's why I think as women, we got to start holding ourselves and our friends of friends that we come in contact with a little accountable because we creating these deadbeat baby daddies, we creating these single fathers out here, we creating all this chaos, and then once everybody got a kid, we start trying to look at dudes that's making the six figures and no kids, but baby, hey, you don't even match. You know what I'm saying? You probably don't even know how to clean the house. All you think you know how to do is put some noodles in the microwave, and you calling that lunch and dinner.
Well, that's where them betas come in at. That's where them betas come in and start playing stepdaddy.
And see, and that to me is a problem because I had to ask a dude. I was like, you don't have any kids. Why would you want to be over here with this responsibility? It's not like I have problems with my baby daddies. I can honestly say we don't talk. It's strictly talk to your kids. Don't talk to me because we ain't got nothing to say. But if we need to have a conversation, we can. But at that point, it's to me, I just find it a little suspect because why would you want to come over here and this responsibility over here? When you can be free and enjoy a girl that don't have kids, that have more availability with their time, because with me, once I get out the bus, it's straight home, back in the mom mode, and then after that, after a little power nap, I'm going to go get the other kid from school because of after school activities. I always kind of feel like that's strange to me. I guess that's why I really
beta men, like I said, they're effortless, you know what I'm saying? So they see an opportunity to go 50-50 in a situation. They be cool with it. Like, I'll go 50-50 to go with to find their counterpart in that young girl, or the girl their age or whatever with no kids. They think about that responsibility of carrying the whole load, and that's not essentially what they want to do. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like most beta men, they're like, I'll pay 50-50 as long as I get my man cave. You know what I'm saying? Instead of having a whole castle, they just want a man cave.
Okay. Like I said, I've never looked at it from a different perspective because this is really opened my eyes to some different stuff. Because sometimes when you close minded, you're tunnel vision, and that's all you see. So that's good.
I wanted to make a point. Oh,
go ahead. We can go Pygmy, then Sir Hill. We go Pygmy, and then Sir Hill.
Magnificent. Okay, so what I want to say is because you posed the question, what could we do to stop it? I think that more women I think it needs to be more of us having these discussions and standing on our square. Like, I will tell y'all in a heartbeat, I'm the face of single motherhood being ghetto. Like, this is the trashiest thing ever. And I'm never going to suggest to other women to put themselves in this position. My whole point is we need a black book with black rules and black values. Marry before you carry. Don't just be listening to that man and what he's telling you. It's a bunch of sweet nothings. He not only should be a man with a plan, but he should be a man of action. You shouldn't be dating no man when he too young, when you can't see that action into place. So it's just more things we need to put out into the community versus telling things that makes us feel good. We need more rules because what we're doing isn't working.
Go ahead, Sir Hell.
About to take a turn. So a lot of times, some men will attract to single mothers because, in a lot of cases, single mothers are easy targets. If a lot of single mothers who are reckless, and I do want to make a distinction. A single mother is different from a mother who's single. That's a difference. So single mother, we traditionally think about a woman who's been reckless. She's never been married, and she's had kids by multiple people. A woman could have been married and then divorced, and now she's a single mother. So those are two different things. But a lot of single mothers are easy targets for men. Like a lot of the single mothers, and you guys have probably seen this if you lived. Some single mothers be easy. I mean, real easy. They be tired with them kids. They be stressed out, feel like they're missing out on life. And so to get a man who shows interest, she will throw it on him so quick because she's relieved that somebody is giving her the time of day. So that to me is beta activity. But women, you need to look out for that because there are some men who will love you. Let me put that out there. But there are a lot of men who see your situation as an opportunity for an easy pass. So y'all got to look out for that as well.
Mm-hmm. And that easy pass is like they know that they'll probably get sex quick. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to hold you to the standard of like you gave it to your baby daddy. Like, why you not going to give it to me? Right. And so now that's the play in the back of his head for sure. And so that's part of it. And then because it's hard to be in the life of a woman who has a baby daddy who's active. You know what I'm saying? If he's active and the dude is cool with being there, it's going to be a challenge for him, right? And so if that woman is not willing to, I'll look at it. I'll tell you like this. So most men, not all, right, but most men are looking at the scenario as an opportunity. As been said, and it's easy to have sex with, one, and two, they're looking to be a part of the life. They know that they're gonna have to be a part of the life of the kid, but they also may not have looked past what that's going to look like. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things. And then your character, you draw who you are. You know, you attract who you are. So if it's a guy, I think women don't see that, and men don't also see that whoever you are is who you're going to attract. As Rilla would say, it's the law of attraction. I think Ricky would say it as well. So if you want better, then you got to be who it is that you want.
Can I say something real quick?
Tamia,
like
you don't have to ask. Can you say something?
No, I just.
All you gotta do is just say it to me.
It's my politeness.
Don't be polite. You the first. Listen, you're an anomaly for real because New Yorkers are not nice.
I'm blessed. That's it.
Okay, go ahead.
So, I love that you mentioned that about the law of attraction and just a matter of just being aware. None of this. So even back to your question about women and this whole like spoiled concept or not taking criticism, it is about self-awareness. Like if that woman has no sense of self-awareness, has not sat down and like looked at herself, everything sounds like a hit. Everything sounds like a hit at an adult age. Some of it also comes from in our childhood. Like for me, I've always been criticized. I grew up as a professional dancer. We are criticized down to the T. How we look, how you're performing. Are you on time? Oh, you're not on time. You're too late. It's very critical. So if you are always being, and then I have a very critical mother. My mother is I was 4 years old coloring an apple and got in trouble for coloring out of the line. So when I marry a man, and it's not that I don't want him to lead, but my idea of criticism is like, I'm not doing well enough or I need to show up better. It reflects as I'm crying because I can't take your advice, or I'm sensitive because I don't want to be helped. When essentially it's I don't have a good relationship with criticism. And at a point, it was hard for me to take in because I did not practice self-awareness. It wasn't till I was being self-aware that I was able to take accountability. A woman can't take accountability without awareness because what is she taking accountability for if she doesn't know? She's just sitting there saying, oh, I did something wrong. I'm sorry for doing something wrong. Does she know what she did wrong? Does she know what that action is? So that moving forward, she can be better. There's nothing that happens until that woman takes time to reflect on herself and what's going on with her internally. Then she can be like, wait, that's happened for me. Like when my marriage was struggling and all the clouds were gone and all the emotions were out, and I was able to sit and be like, oh, okay, I showed up this way. And that made him feel that way, but I couldn't hear it that way in the time because I was not practicing self-awareness. I was not reflecting on my behaviors. So I think it starts there. You cannot take any accountability. You're going to feel like you're being negatively criticized instead of constructive criticism if you yourself don't know what you are actually doing. Like it's going to sound like a hit unless you know what you're doing.
Go ahead, Dwayne. You want to say something?
No, I just think of it like, you know, you're at the fair and you sit down to those people to do the caricature for you, and they draw this picture and that joker is ugly, and you're like, is that me? That ain't me. And then you gotta realize
bad, real bad. You're like,
no, I don't have that problem. Mine look good, bro. So,
well, hey, you had a good artist, but hey. But I've seen ones where the artist will actually joke around and over exaggerate it just to be funny, right? And then to see their reactions. But then I've had that happen personally, where due to my lack of self-awareness, someone had to draw me a picture, and I appreciated that person so much. I mean, I appreciated that person so much because at first I was in denial. I was like, no, that ain't me. That ain't me. My ears ain't that big. My nose ain't that. Come on now. But it was real, but it only took the only way I could realize what they were saying to me was to reflect on it. And most people will deflect on it. And I think that's the problem because they will just that's not me and move on with it. They won't even search their inside. They won't even self-examine to see whether or not what that person is saying could be true, because that leads to a whole avenue. That self-awareness. Oh my goodness, that's humility right there. That's humility in full flex. Whenever somebody's able to take the criticism and where someone is able to do it. And that goes back to like constructive criticism. Constructive criticism is not on the part of the person that's giving it. It's on the part of the person that's taking it. So in order to make it constructive, you take what they're saying and chew on it. And then you can spit out what's bad. But then guess what? You could consume that nutrition because it's going to make you better. That's how I look at it.
Man, this has been dope. Does anybody have any last words before we wrap it up? Y'all, listen, man, I am so proud of y'all. You know, I appreciate y'all. Everybody had a take. People didn't sit back in the cut. Thank you for Pick Meek for coming on. I really appreciate it and your input and everybody that's here. So we're going to go around real quick and tell me what you took away from the show, and then let us know where people can find you. All right, we're going to start with Dwayne, and then we're going to work our way around.
I realize that women are perfect and they can't make mistakes. Let me stop playing.
And where can they find you? DwayneJonesPhotography.com. Did you want to say something different?
No, I'm gonna leave it.
You'll leave it like that. Ash, on you.
Like that.
Okay.
Because we're always wrong, right?
That's a fact.
But who's to say that they're not perfect? All right.
That's good. Ash, on you. What's your takeaway, and where can they find you?
I need to stop taking accountability because we're perfect as we are.
There you go.
Okay. But my real takeaway is Dwayne is trying to make sure I understand the person before judging and trying to put it in these alpha, beta, sigma, delta, and all these other little acronyms that they got for these people, because as Sir Hill was saying, it's the upbringing sometimes that affects that person to where he fit into those categories. But you can find me at 360.devo on Instagram.
That's what's up. On you, Brandon.
Okay. My takeaway would be that accountability and introspection is the cure. I would say that looking within I feel like I'm getting real in here. Looking within is probably more important than looking without. Like a lot of people look out for when things go wrong. We're looking at what caused it. What was in my environment that caused me to be in this situation? We just need to start within and work our way out. And I think we would come to some answers, some better answers faster if you would do that. And y'all can find you can find me at the Buffet Pod on YouTube. Same thing, the Buffet Pod on IG.
That's what's up on you, Pig Meat.
Okay, in closing, I would like to say it sucks, but I have to say the problem and then I have to give the solution. The problem is the women. Sorry, ladies, it's us. We have to be accountable. The solution is that we're on being more feminine. Just like Tamia said, being self-aware, reflective, being able to receive corrective criticism, all of that falls into being a feminine woman. And the more we practice that, the more we can repel those beta men and create more masculine beings. So stop being unaccountable and stop being not feminine. And you can find me on Instagram and YouTube. I'm Pick Meek, and I'm on Twitter as well.
That's what's up. Appreciate you being here. To me, it's on you.
My biggest takeaways are one, to make sure that I'm heating an environment that allows my husband to be an alpha male, so that I'm playing my role in a sense that also supports him showing up the way that he needs to or that he would like to. So again, second takeaway is awareness. So even when we were speaking about beta males, there was, or just what all the sigma, gamma, betas, zetas, we touched on and mentioned that like some of these individuals may not even know or be able to classify themselves. So self-awareness is very important. So to be self-aware, and with self-awareness, you'll figure out what you need to take accountability for. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at the Coach Mia, and then on YouTube at Tamia Luster.
So what's up? Appreciate you. Prototype.
My takeaway is even pick me women don't like beta guys. You would think that they would be a perfect match for real, you know, but they don't like them either. So, man, you can find me at Prototype Dad podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Cat Fancher on Instagram. Prototype Dad podcast is also on Instagram. I think we're on TikTok as well. So yeah, but yeah, that's my takeaway.
That's a
Sir, hell.
So he got it right.
I appreciate you, Humble Dad, for this conversation. This has been real dope. Really, really dope. So what I've taken away is I respect the ladies on here. I respect Ash, Pig Meek, and Tamia. You guys came on here and were honest. Now, you guys could be lying to us. You know, you guys could be on the podcast on the right thing. But listen, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. You are accountable about mistakes. And I think that that's refreshing because I don't think a lot of women know how to do that. We talked about self-awareness, which is part of emotional intelligence. And that was displayed a lot. So, like, for real, big shout out to y'all. But I will say this, men lead with love, discipline, commitment, and integrity. Like, you have to be a leader to yourself first and then go after something. And women, if you want to be a wife, like really look at your appetite, because a lot of times women will determine who's an alpha or beta, and it's really based off of their preferences at the moment. Has nothing to do with that man's character or how he really moves. It's just how she sees him from the filter of where she is in her life. So ladies, if you want to be a wife, like, be accountable and learn from the mistakes of other women. Like, stop being crazy and going out there doing what you see has wrecked your mama's life. That's why she ain't married, and what the aunties, they ain't married. Like, learn from women's mistakes and don't wait until it's too late, because if you have something worth giving, a man should have the opportunity to give you covering because you can be an asset to a man or you can be a liability. And I think it's incumbent upon every woman to determine which one she'll be. Appreciate your Humble Dad.
Man, thank you, Sir Hell. I appreciate you as well. Been a dope conversation. Never know where it's going to go. Never know what someone's going to say. But I'm always learning as well. The one thing that I want to say that that works for women that submissiveness wins. You know what I mean by that? When you are submissive to a good man, there's nothing he won't do for you. He's not going to let you down. You know what I'm saying? He is going to show his appreciation for you being submissive to him. Because the number one thing for us is to be a provider and a protector. And I told my wife the other night, I said, that submissiveness show is attractive on you. Mm-hmm. Right. And so she didn't know what to say. And so, matter of fact, today, Dwayne, you appreciate this. I barbecued today. Anybody that know me knows that I don't cook. You know what I'm saying? My first wife, I cooked maybe once in our marriage of 14 years. And in this marriage, I think this is my second time in the past 2 months, right?
Humble Dad, I just got a question on this, if you don't mind me asking you.
Yeah.
So you barbecued.
Yeah.
This is going to tell us.
I guess I grilled. It was more grilled.
This is going to tell us a lot about you. Did you have on sandals?
No, I actually, I didn't have on sandals.
You're good.
Out of bounds.
That's hilarious. So, but I'm just saying, because I appreciate the things that she has done for me, I wanted to do something that showed that I really appreciated her, to do something that's more out of my element. And everybody said that it was delicious. Shout out to me. You know what I'm saying? And also, I think what I also learned is that this particular podcast needs to be played on a regular basis, that people need to hear these conversations. And so if you're listening, make sure you share with somebody, and make sure you like and comment and subscribe to the channel. And I appreciate y'all time. Y'all don't know how much I do, because everybody don't want to be here and everybody can't be here. But I appreciate y'all, and y'all are very much of value. Until next time, we out here. Peace. Peace.
The boy is dangerous.
Seem to understand something.
The thing that I like most about being a dad is that I see that I'm about to impact the world.